So this is the life that I'm planning to build in Idaho, and it looks much different than the life I have in California. So what drew me to make a decision to move to Idaho? Of all places I could have picked in the United States, why Idaho? Well, first of all, my son and daughter-in-law and my three grandchildren bought a house there, and they're going to be moving in the next few months. And so my life is very intertwined with my grandchildren. I see them all the time. I'm very active in their lives, and I really want to continue that while they're growing up. And so my husband and I started looking out in Idaho as well. And there were just so many things about a lifestyle there. I could see what drew them. And I thought, I'm older, things are going to be different, but let me think about things that would draw me. So I think the first thing that I really noticed when I got there was the affordability. I mean, I live in Southern California right now, and everything is expensive. Gas is expensive, housing's expensive, food's expensive, utilities are very expensive. When I went to Idaho, we actually started looking. I mean, our cost of living will be a lot less there. Now, my husband and I are both retired. I have heard that when you're still in the working mode, the income is lower, but the cost of living's lower. So that might be relative to some people. To me and my husband, it makes a big difference because we still have the same, income coming in that we did in Southern California. So I think it's going to afford us a lot more in Idaho. The second, I think, was the sense of community. There's a real sense of community there. We went to some of the local parks. We checked out a lot of different things while we were there, especially last time. And there were just so many things set up for outdoor activities, for, taking advantage of nature, which is something, if you were to review some of my videos and you see the things I'm really interested in, I mean, nature is really one of the big ones. And so I'm very much looking forward to being able to fish and picnic and hike and all those different things that are just in my backyard there in Idaho. So I'm hoping that that's really going to be a big change as compared to living here in the city. I think the third thing that drew me was the pace of life there. I mean, the pace of life just seems a little bit slower. Here, everything's rush, 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 rush. My sister refers to me as like a puppy. She's the old dog with her eye closed, laying on the porch, and I'm the puppy running around with all the energy. But I think a lot of that is just our lifestyle here in Southern California. It's fast paced and there's a lot going on. So I'm looking forward to slowing down a little bit, downsizing some of that. So what does the Idaho lifestyle really mean to me personally, though? Well, I can tell you, I think it's going to be some big changes. First of all, here we are in Southern California. My daughter-in-law and my son have to work. My son actually works 2 jobs. My daughter-in-law works 1. So I pick up a lot of the slack, watching the kids and babysitting and that kind of thing. When we move to Idaho, she's not going to be working anymore, and he's only going to be working 1 job. So they're going to have more time for their own family, and I think that's going to afford me more time to myself. Yeah, I'm still going to see the grandkids and hang out and do fun things and all that kind of stuff, but it won't be so much specific days I'm watching them, babysitting, being counted on. It'll be more things that, kind of an open time, I'm hoping. So what that means to me personally is maybe sleeping in some days, maybe days that I can go for longer walks, that I can spend more time cooking. I still cook a lot here in my home in California, but I plan on doing it a lot more there. I want to visit some of the local farms and get local fresh vegetables and farm fresh eggs and things like that. Now, I do have a garden and fruit trees here, but I plan on also strategically setting up a garden in my new home as well. I'm looking for slower mornings, more time at home, more time to just relax and enjoy my life. I'm really looking forward to finding a good gym, finding some fun activities that I can do with other people my own age. And I think that's going to be a big change and a very positive one for me. Now, when I think about the home vision in Idaho, because I really do have one, I've kind of been looking on Pinterest. I've been trying to think of ideas of things that I really want in case this is my last home that I'm living in. And I'm thinking of all kinds of DIY projects. One of the things I'm probably the most excited about is I'm going to have a kitchen window that looks out into my backyard. Now I have one now in my current kitchen, but my sink is in the center island. So I never really look out the window when I'm cooking or doing dishes or anything like that. I'm actually thinking of putting in like one of those windows that goes out that I can put plants on. It's going to be an east-facing kitchen, so I think that's going to work out really well. I'd really like to think of some DIY projects I can do, like wallpapering and accent painting and things like that, and maybe some inexpensive upgrades. Maybe some I can do through the builder, maybe some I can do myself, but I have a lot of ideas in mind, which I'm going to share with you in future videos as we move forward to this move over the next 6 months. Now, when I start thinking of dreaming about a garden, because I've never been without a garden, I'm 66 and I just love to garden. It's one of my favorite things. I'm one of those people, for a spring garden, I start thinking about it in November. And so I've been thinking I have a much smaller backyard in this new house. So I'm trying to think of ways that I can be creative. And I do have a back wrought iron fence that backs up to a green belt on this house. So I'm thinking of ways that maybe I can do some arches over that, and maybe I can vertically grow along that fence. And then I want to have some beds for, like maybe a salad bowl kind of thing, which I do in my garden now. And then maybe a couple other for tomatoes and squash and things like that throughout the summer. But I also plan on visiting more of the farmers markets there and being able to just buy some things that I haven't really done. They don't offer a lot of that here where I live. So my gardening is going to change quite a bit. I'm not going to be having this multiple fruit trees. Now I will miss my fruit trees, but I'll be honest, I won't miss the work. I do a lot of work to maintain those trees. I have to whitewash them every year. I have to prune them. When the fruit comes, you have to kind of pick it and figure out what to deal with it all at once. And then whatever you don't pick goes to the ground. You've got to get that picked up, or you've got fruit flies and all kinds of other things. So that part, I'll be honest, I'm not going to miss. I am going to pick 1 or 2 trees that I would like in the new house, and I'm thinking of putting those in the front yard. I'm not probably going to put any trees in the backyard just because I have some other ideas for that space. But in the front, I'm thinking of doing like a Bartlett pear. I've never had Bartlett pear before. We can't grow them in Southern California. And then I'm probably also going to do some kind of an apple tree, or maybe a peach. I haven't decided yet. But those are the 2 that I'm kind of leaning towards in the new house. I do want to have some kind of a small herb garden that's just set up for herbs. And I also think because of the colder weather in the winter, I'm going to have to consider maybe setting up a cold frame in one of the beds, which should work out just great. I've never done that before, but I've read a lot about it, and I think that's going to work out really good as well. I think this lifestyle with additional activities and healthy eating at home is going to continue to help me on my path to losing weight and getting more healthy in the new home. And right away, I'm going to set up getting some kind of a gym membership up there. I would like to continue with the personal training. I think that's been a big benefit over this last year. Because we'll be downsizing in this new home, I'm actually probably going to be selling about 70% of my existing furniture. A lot of it is stuff that I've had for many years, and I've kept it up. It's been great to have through the years, but moving it across states just doesn't make sense. So I will keep some of my better pieces of furniture that I've had, but I plan on buying new furniture up there and a lot less of it. So I'm hoping for a, streamlined kind of house that, as I downsize, I don't have as much stuff. I'm kind of going through everything right now, just deciding what I can take, what I can leave, that kind of thing. And it's going to be interesting because I think a lot of times you just think, wow, I can take everything. I've never done a move out of state. This is going to be a lot different than just moving, down the street or to another local town or something. Moving across state, there's just so much to consider. So have I figured it all out? No. Do I have an idea of what I want to do? Yes. Is that going to be what happens? I don't know. But this is the vision I'm working towards, and I know it's going to evolve. I know it's going to change over time. I get all of that. There's going to be a lot to figure out over the next coming months. I do hope our house sells quickly just because of the chaos of trying to, have people come in and look at it and that kind of thing. I hope that I can at least get on to the next phase where it kind of the intermediate, figuring out what we're going to do between the time we sell and the time our new house is built. So that's about it. That's kind of what I'm thinking about, this new life in Boise, what I'm anticipating, what I'm envisioning. I'd be curious if you've ever moved out of state. How did it work out for you? If you've got any advice or comments or anything, please feel free to leave it in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. And I hope you enjoyed this video. If you're not a subscriber, please consider subscribing to my channel. Give me a like, a thumbs up, or ring that bell for future notifications, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.